Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be analysing EU DXY live during the session, and I'm just going to be analysing to see if there's any opportunities that might be available for me today. The purpose of this video is to give you insight into price action analysis for day trading, so you can take whatever value from it to improve yourself or maybe improve your confidence. The content will be aimed at those generally interested in day trading price action analysis, or those that, just want to get better, take some value and improve. So let's get into it then. So I'm going to start off here because it is Monday. Just have a quick look at the weekly. So you can see on the weekly now, we've been bearish going into the fourth week. So 3 weeks of bearish price action. There's no immediate weekly POIs. You can see we came off this fair value gap here and reached into this fair value gap here and rejected, and since then we've been moving bearish. So I don't see any immediately here, but there'll be lower time frame liquidity available. So if we move on to the daily, you can see where I've got marked out previous weekly high, previous weekly low and previous daily low. You can see we've already blasted through the previous daily low during Asia and London so far. There's not much to see on the daily apart from we have loads of bearish momentum. This is the leg where I see that we're currently working within, and it does look like we're heading towards the liquidity at the lows. And then our next point of daily POI liquidity would be filling this fair value gap here fully, right? We've only mitigated it partially in the past in December, and then the most clear and obvious one is down here. We have this fair value gap that's unmitigated, but that's well ahead in the future. So now we'll get into today. So on the 4 hour, I'll just expand this out a little bit so you can see. You can see we took that previous weekly low, previous daily low. We're working in this 4 hour bearish leg where we've made this new lower low after sweeping these external highs here for the buy side liquidity. And we have these internal lows here, right, where we've taken out this liquidity. The next point that I've identified is this low here for for a liquidity target, for a sell side liquidity target, and then ultimately this low. So at the moment we look obviously very bearish on the 4 hour due to the structure, and we've taken out a significant amount of sell side liquidity already, but it's not caused any bullish behavior just yet, so price action may continue that way. So if we go down to the 1 hour, obviously it's more of the same. You can see we've got these mini sort of internal structures, and this 1 hour leg here, though ultimately this is the 1 hour leg also. Just to be aware of now in terms of reversals or continuing bearishness, we still have these unmitigated fair value gaps, 4 hour fair value gap, in more of a premium. So you can see I've highlighted this 1 hour fair value gap here. Price has gone into it now, partially mitigated it, and so far rejecting. So we may just continue down to this low here from this 1 hour fair value gap, right? However, it's just to be aware, price may want to go into more of a premium, so we have to wait for the price action to tell us. Now that we've gone into this 1 hour fair value gap, I wouldn't just want to go short. I'm going to wait into the New York session, though we have PMI today, as you can see by this. I'm going to wait for the New York session to open, or for this structural low to be taken, right, to show that this 1 hour fair value gap, is actually holding, and we're not going to go up higher to maybe even this M15 order block here that swept the Asia internal liquidity. So I am favoring shorts today, right, just based on EU so far. We haven't gone to DXY. We do look to favor those shorts. However, as I said, we are in a deep discount, right? We are deep down in this discount, and we have taken loads of sell side liquidity. So that's why I said I want to have structure, break again on the M15, M5 if it looks very good, to show that this 1 hour fair value gap is just going to continue that bearish run. So let's go over to DXY. We'll start off on the weekly. So unlike EU, we actually do have a weekly POI here. We have a weekly POI, and you know, there's this buy side liquidity here that we have just swept. So where EU doesn't look like we have a reversal point on the weekly, we may have some resistance here on the DXY weekly, but I don't expect it, you know, to just play out straight away. It may play out over a matter of weeks. So on the daily, similar image to EU, we've taken out the previous weekly high, previous daily high. You can see we've got this big bullish momentum, and we've now taken out a lot of buy side liquidity. So let's go down to the 4 hour. Just to point out on the 4 hour now, we have this 4 hour bullish leg, right? We have these previous highs, buy side liquidity, which has now been swept or mitigated. So these are points where, you know, we could see some bearish price from DXY, which would mean a bullish EU, right? We may get that pullback to more of a discount here. We've got this 4 hour order block here, which, you know, may be attracting price just a little bit further before we get that pullback. It'll be a good reversal point just above some buy side liquidity, which would serve as inducement, I guess. So if we go down to the hourly now, obviously similar picture, and I've just got the note here, which is the same as on EU, right? We've taken this internal high and we've taken this external buy side liquidity, right, which may cause a pullback, and we have this higher time frame fair value gap in discount, so it may pull back a lot deeper. It's just something to be aware of. Probably won't happen today unless news causes it, right? We have the same 1 hour fair value gap below price now, which, you know, it's entered and is currently rejected, but we'll see how price action goes. And obviously this lines up with EU, so we may just see that little bullish push. So now back on EU, just going to stay here on the 1 hour time frame for a moment. As I said, markets look very bearish. You don't want to assume that we're going to have that pullback now, but we might. We have this as a resistance in our way, which may continue the bearish price, but I want to see, you know, the M15 structure, you know, continue or switch, right? I'm going to want to see this create a new internal high and let us know we've got that pullback going on. But we may not get that today. I may not get any opportunities in the market because price action may just go sideways until news. So that's what I'm looking at, favoring shorts, but bearing in mind that there are, you know, liquidity points that if they get taken, shorts may not look as good, right? So we're going to want the M15 time frame to give us that confirmation of a pullback or continuation. So it's mixed but bearish bias. So I hope you've got value from that analysis. If you enjoyed it or have any questions, then just let me know in the comments and feel free to subscribe.